Hello and welcome back. I'm Lincoln, and today is the 6th of October, which means the prompt for today was spellbook. This is all part of my October3D sculpting challenge I presented a few days ago, and it's just to get everybody sculpting and learning new tools and techniques on Nomad Sculpt using the iPad. Alright, this one took me about an hour to make, and I've sped it up to about half an hour, just skipping through some parts that you guys didn't need to see every single step. Now, I'm going to throw up the prompt list here. Hey, if you want to share any of your creations, please use the hashtag at the bottom of the prompt list or in the description below, and I'd love to see them on Instagram. Okay, with all that said, let's go make a spellbook. Okay, so let's go in and get rid of the default sphere. And you'll see this is already a little bit different. Just so you guys know, I'm in 1.66 in the beta test version, so there's a lot of changes, and they just updated it a couple days ago, so this is new. This is a little bit different too. All of these are fairly new, so just so you guys know. Alright, so we're going to grab a Triplaner, and if you guys haven't messed with these before, these are pretty cool. You can do a lot with these. So what we need to do first, I'll go over this. This is all a little bit different too. This is all part of this new. This is, you can snap to different ones, different views. You can see down there they snap each one. So we'll just snap to the front view, and I'm going to just delete all of this. So we'll go into the select mask, we'll go to unmask, turn off symmetry, and just delete everything. That just makes it a little bit easier. Now we're just going to make this a little bit bigger. I need to grab rectangle, and we'll just grab here. All right. So we just need to change to each view and create our mask. And it just depends on how much mask you have on each side, how well it's going to go into everything. So we'll go to this view now. We're going to go to the back, and we're going to cut some of this back out. Turn the masking back off. Got select mask on, and we'll just go in and cut this now. I'm going to go here because we're going to clean up that edge and make it rounder. So there we go. So now it's starting to look a little bit better. Now we'll just go to the regular masking. I'm going to go to unmask and make that a little bit bigger. And you can see as I'm working on this that it's in real time, it adjusts your shape. Come here. And there's several different ways you can make a book jacket like this. This is just an easy way to do it. Now you may end up with little artifacts here and there, but it's pretty easy to trim them off later. Alright, now take a look over here what it looks like, and it depends on which side you want to work on. You can work on this side too if you want. It doesn't really matter. It'll still work the same depending on which side you're on. It really doesn't matter a whole lot. Now if we want to mask a little bit, there we go. Okay. I want to unmask right here. And I'm going to mask again. And select mask. I'm going to give this just a little bit more to that. Whoops. Make that book jacket a little bit thicker, book covers. And we'll take a little off this one. Here we go. Alright, so we're going to validate that, and now we have our book jacket. Alright, so let's throw some pages in there. That'll be the next thing, just to kind of fill it up so we can kind of see where we're at. Come in here and add a box. and just kind of figure out where you want your pages to be. Alright, so here's another thing I'm going to show you, and this, you won't have to do this. I'm having to do it though because this is kind of messed up. You see how this is at the bottom for the gizmo. I have to hit reset to get it to go to center, and I'm sure they'll fix that later, but it was a little weird trying to figure out what was going on with that the other day. As you'll see, every time you move it, it's moving down, so that's not normal. They've got to fix something. I'm just making sure it's not sticking out inside there. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now, we're going to grab that one, leave it on solo. And this is one that we'll go ahead and validate it. I'm going to subdivide it a bunch because we're going to do some detail to it. And we'll grab the clay brush and change the alpha, because it's normally in this one. We'll change it to the scratch. Make it pretty good size because we've got a lot of pages, and we'll just use this. It's on sub right now, which is perfect. And you can go around the corner. It's good just to go around all four sides because depending on how you make your book and what you do on the back side, you may notice some things, see some stuff. Let's fix that because we got kind of got the scratches going down the side. That'll be noticeable there. That'll be good. And I'm just using this scratch brush. I mean, you could make one that's a little bit better for doing these pages if you wanted, but I'm just using this one because I know this is one that everybody's got and they can use it really quick. Now I'm going to turn sub off, and we'll give it a little bit more because it'll come out now. This will give you some pretty convincing looking pages. Just go all the way around it, work it a little bit. Alright. Now, if we put that back on, it looks like some good pages there, pretty decent. Alright. So the next thing you can do is we can put a little movement in that if you want. So we'll grab the inflate brush. Is probably the best one for this because it doesn't affect the topology as much. And we should probably go ahead and voxel remesh, and I'm going to remesh this up. You know, I don't know. We'll try it about right there. Alright. Because you need to be able to move things around a little bit without the topology getting too crazy. And this gives it a little bit of movement on the pages, so they're not just a flat box. You want to give it a little something. And I'm going to round that out, so let's solo this. Go a little bit bigger, and I just want to go right here. Give it kind of a round edge. And it's going to get a little nasty there, but that's okay. We'll turn that back on and just kind of fills it up a little bit. And we'll go right here, just to kind of give those edges a little bit, the edge of the pages a little movement. That looks fine. Now here, that's got a little something, so let's go sub. And that's what I was talking about. You see the yellow on there. You don't want that to go quite that much. So it would probably be better to do the drag brush instead right here, so we can just drag it in a little bit. And it's best, you know, if you want to do it perfectly smooth, then do it before you put the texture on. This is fine though. I'm not too worried about it on this. I want it to look a little rougher, like it's just rough pages put in here. Okay, now to give this some extra dimension, come in here, we're going to add another box. Now, this is going to be pages, and we'll do several. So let's move this over. Oh, that's not what I want to do. I touched it apparently. So let's. Yeah, lost it. All right, add another box. And I'm gonna, I have to fix my pivot again. Sorry about that. Okay, bring this in, bring it over. That's not. If you turn the nodes off, it makes it a little bit easier to adjust these sometimes. So we want to make it so they're just sticking out. Turn those back on so we can get to it. So just kind of sticking out, you see right here, whoops. You see right there and right there, it's sticking out just a little bit. Stick these out a little bit here. And I'm not going to worry about the inside. I don't really want to worry about that. And then we're going to, sorry, I have to do this again. And it's still not working. Something's not quite right with what they have going on. It's been kind of weird. So I'm sure they'll get it fixed. They've done a lot of new things to this, and it's really is really nice, but there's still a few issues here and there. That's just always is. Okay, so pick your thickness of page. We'll go like that thick. That's fine. I'm gonna move it over. Oops. There we go. Move it over right to there. And give it just a little bit more size. You'll see why in just a second. So I'm actually going to give it just a tiny little extra. That way we can trim it off nice. Okay, so you got your page in there. Let's solo that guy. Now this is your 3 sides we're going to trim, so we'll go ahead and validate it and trim. And I would use the plane for this, but the plane does really weird things with, oops. And that's something weird too. I don't know exactly what that is. It's done that to me a couple times now, and I'm not really sure why. Touching the screen, there's something touchy about it, and it'll flip for you right here. I don't know if it's just you push and hold. Something I'm doing is doing it. All right, so we'll turn the solo back. Whoops, gizmo. Turn the solo back off. You can see you got your page there, and that's that's obviously not what we're looking for quite yet. But we're gonna go ahead and clone this a few times and put a few in here. I'll just do like 5 just so you can kind of see how to do this, and you could do as many as you want, obviously. So for this one, we'll turn on snapping, go to 90 degrees, and we'll do turn it so you get one that you don't have to mess with as much. Solo that one, and we'll just trim this side real quick. Just kind of give it an edge. We'll get a little more on these in just a second. All right, so that one, this one. So that one's different. They don't want to be the same, so we'll do the top 3, and we'll change those up a little bit. So go into solo, and just give them a little bit different trim on each one. That way they don't all look the same. And feel free to do however you want to on these. This just gives it a nice look. That one, solo. You don't have to cut everything off, just change it so there's a little bit different shape to the pages. You don't have to be too crazy with it, and it's better to be a little more, whoops, not a little too rough. So there we go. There. Okay, back solo. Last one. You can always trim these a little more even if you want. When we get down to this, it makes it look better. Okay, so it looks pretty good. Now, to make this look a little better, so that they're not all just perfectly flat, which wouldn't look right either, we're going to come in and grab the drag brush and just kind of drag these around a little bit. Okay, just grab each one. If it's being aggravating, just grab the lock button and you'll be able to get it eventually. Okay, that one didn't want to move too much. It's easier if the move brush is, or the drag brush is, a little more camera specific. So if you turn, it does do better. This last little bit will make a nice detail. It's just hard to pull these around much, simply because they're so thin. It's hard to catch them. So it's kind of better to be at an angle like this. Okay, I'm back, and I'm going to paint all of those a little bit. So, yep, all of these. And we're going to go ahead and paint them. Parchment looking thing a little bit. That we can kind of see what it looks like, and that looks pretty good. And if you leave them separate, you can sit there and tweak them a little bit. These, a bunch of those need to be trimmed off. Those are a little much, so it's hard to know exactly which ones. Turn them all off. Yeah, probably every other one right there. And I'll use a gizmo and just bring them over just a little bit. That looks a little better. Squeeze them down just a hair. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, so you can completely detail those more if you want. Alright, so I'm going to do some things on the spine here real quick and give it just a little bit more detail. So what we'll do is click on this guy. We're going to do the select mask, and we'll do rectangle, turn off unmasking, and we don't want symmetry. Actually, I guess we could try it and see how it's working. I have had some issues with symmetry. So yeah, symmetry isn't really going to matter now, as we're a little past the center of the world. That's the center of the world, so symmetry is not going to do anything anyway. And I can see I got some book pages sticking out, so we'll fix that in just a second. Here, only do a little bit smaller line. Now you could do this with symmetry. If you had this in the center of the world, it'll be easier for you guys if you want to do that. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. That looks pretty good. So let's take care of that right there. You'll see it. So gizmo. Just click on something else to make sure. There we go. And we can just do inflate tool sub and just, what is going on? There we go. What is, oh, had it on sub, I swear. Okay, didn't want to work. Fine, we'll trim it. Done. Okay. Now we don't want these lines to go all the way across the jacket, so what we'll do, click on the top view, grab select mask, going to unmask, and we'll just unmask all these, and maybe probably right there. Looks good. Yeah. Okay. So we will go ahead and extract those. Go back to select mask, the menu, and let's go. We don't need a ton. 150-ish. How that looks. Yeah, that looks good. Nice. Alright, so what I am going to do is go ahead and get rid of the masking and clear the mask. Now on these guys, since you have done them all at one time, they're all connected, so you can go in the menu if you want to work with these individually. You can come into the menu, the Triplaner extraction. Now yours will just say separate down here in the menu, but you can separate them if you want. But I'm going to leave them together. We're going to grab the smooth brush and just smooth these. That's a little too extreme. I don't want to go that much. Let's knock the intensity down and just round them a little. That's good. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is we'll go back here a few times. Redo. Alright, we're going to go in topology, subdivide them a little bit so they get a little more mesh. Yeah, one more time. That looks good. Just want a little more mesh on them. So a lot of times, and that did it, that makes them round right there. So then all I'm going to do is just clean these up, and we'll do the flatten brush, bring it down, and I think I have probably, yes, I've changed the fall off on this one, so let's go with a preset, and that's fine. Ooh, a little much. So a preset and the amount of fall off you have can make a difference on how things like this work. Now if you have symmetry on, this will go a little bit faster because as you're doing one with those two, these two would be doing, but that's fine. Alright, just want to knock those edges down. And it's not, oh, and I keep touching stuff. I was wondering why that was looking weird. Try that again. Keep my hands off everything, apparently. Okay. And over here. Okay. That looks good. All right. Now let's add, let's add some corner protection, but let's go grab all of this and we're going to come over here to the gizmo menu, let's move it to origin, and this will make life a little bit easier for me. Alright, now I'm not sure if all this is going to work properly because the mirroring and everything has been kind of an issue here in this new version until they get it fixed. So I'm going to try it, but I'm not sure what's going to happen. So we'll see. Let's add another box. Do just kind of a thing on the corner here. That looks good. Okay. And then validate it. And I'm going to divide that a few times, and that automatically makes it, you know, it gives you your round edge on there, which is pretty nice. So I'll do that, and like that. I'm going to cut the corner out and just make it a little bit nicer. So let's clone that one and move it over. Make it a little bit thicker so we can see what's going on. There we go. All right, come in here. That's those two boxes. This one will turn off. Select that one, and box will merge them. We're going to keep edges sharp and merge. Now you have a little bit more square edge on the inside, and that's fine if you want. If not, we'll change that up a little bit. Let's get the gizmo. Oh, so I gotta fix that again. There we go. I want it a little bit thicker. Like that. There we go. Okay, now let's put some little rivet heads in it. Add a sphere, doesn't matter which kind of sphere. Shrink it. Swing it down this way, bring it back up. That's pretty nice. All right. Give it an even reveal. We're going to clone that one. Just drag it down, same thing, even around. Clone it one more time. That one down a little bit. Call that good. Alright, so I'm just going to combine all those, so we'll join those in the box, and just click join on those is fine. Alright, so I'm going to speed it up. I'm just going to copy those and move them around. And like I said, this would be a little bit easier if mirroring and everything was working. It's just not quite what it's supposed to be right now, so I'll fix that right now. Alright, I'm going to speed it up. Okay, I'm back. Alright, so let's see. We should probably put some kind of a clasp on here, so we can do that really quick. Add another box real quick. let's try that again. I'll go with that. Let me do one more little rectangle down here. Special key. There we go. Alright. Click on here. Now you can just use the gizmo and just suck that thing in. Okay. And then to make that so it's nice and dark, I'm going to go ahead and paint that while we're at it. I don't know if it wants to do it, so we'll do the paint instead. Why is that? Oh, it's because it's too far down. That's why. Can't see it. There we go. All right. And then we're going to flip the mask. So we'll go to the mask, flip it, and then we can paint all again. And just do like a gold, paint all. Now you have a keyhole done. Oh, that's pretty cool. All right. And the rest of these, I think, just do copper. And I'll speed up here for this for just the painting real quick, and I'll be back in just a second. So we can use the layer brush, a little big, intensity way down. The layer brush is a pretty intense brush. So that makes a pretty good line. Since there's no snapping on here, go like this, and make sure you have something that's not going to conduct on here. And you can use this to give you some straight lines like this. Just to kind of give your book a little detail. And I'm not going to worry about making this all perfect. This is just kind of an example so you can see what you can do with this. Much easier if you have like a clear plastic ruler so you can see what you're doing. But that's what I have handy. Whoops. Right now, so we'll just do this. So just give yourself a quick detail on the book. Alright, if you guys are enjoying these videos, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Alright, thanks.